Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tammy. I'm the owner of Walnut Creek Bath Boutique. Today I am bringing you my all-time favorite formula. It's my body butter. I created this formula about 4 years ago because I didn't like any of the body butter recipes I was finding. I just, I didn't like any of them. I tried several and yeah, I wasn't impressed. I just wasn't. I'm sorry to those YouTubers and those blogs that I got those recipes from. I just didn't like them. I love this body butter and I'm so excited to share it with you. I hope you can try it and use it and sell it, and I hope it brings you as much joy to make this and use it as it has me. So those body butters that I tried in the past, they tended to leave me a little too greasy. This formula is an old school, no water, true body butter. Some people will call like a cream a body butter. I don't. If it's water in it, I don't really call it a body butter. I find that a little confusing. I think of a body butter as having no water and just butters and oils, right? And that's what this is. It's just butters and oils. It's super easy to make. It's super great. It's not greasy. It's not greasy. And I am just so excited to bring this to you. I hope you guys love it. So yeah, I'm going to hang on just a second. And I have my pot on my scale here, if you can see the scale. And so the first ingredient I'm going to put in my pot is mango butter. And mango butter is, let me look at my notes because I want to say it right. It's rich in antioxidants and emollients, vitamins A and E, and it's used to soften and moisten rough and dry skin. So perfect for a body butter. I use it for one thing. It's my favorite butter. Mango butter is my favorite butter to use in anything. And one of the reasons is how quickly it absorbs into your skin. It absorbs really quickly. What I've done with this formulation is try to find the oils that are not only great for your skin, but also great at fast absorption. Okay, so there's my mango butter, 24.5 ounces of mango butter. That's a lot. I am making a 65-ounce batch. Normally I make about a 50-ounce batch of this. This time I want to split it off in about 4 different scents. Next is shea butter. Now shea butter is notoriously grainy and it's notoriously greasy, but it is great for moisturizing. It's very emollient. It's rich in vitamins and fatty acids, and it will leave your skin really smooth and soft. So I do use shea butter, but I use it at a lot less. So that was 24.5. My shea butter is, okay, so 11.6 ounces of shea butter. And I'll give you this recipe in percentages too, so it will be easy for you to kind of adjust that to your own recipe or your own size batch that you want to make. So I am going to set this aside for now and add my KitchenAid glass bowl up here. And I'm going to get my liquid oils in here just while the scale is out and everything's ready to go. So, pumpkin seed oil. I get my pumpkin seed oil from Soper's Choice. I use the organic pumpkin seed oil, and I need 14.2 ounces of this. Pumpkin seed oil is one of my favorites. I am in love with this oil. Look how dark that is. It's so great. And it's a thick, dark green. It's wonderful, but it has a really high vitamin and mineral content, and so it's considered to be extremely nourishing, and it is readily absorbed into the skin. Again, that is like high importance to me. It's rich in vitamins A, B, D, E, minerals, proteins. Oh my gosh, it's great. So, favorite oil with my favorite butter. So yeah, pumpkin seed oil is the star, and that green will color the body butter. I don't add colorants. I used to add colorants to this, but I just stopped and I leave it the natural color that it is. We have a lot of heavy butters right here. Even our pumpkin seed oil is kind of a heavy oil. I need something to kind of lighten this up. So I'm using safflower oil, and really any light oil will do. I've used avocado, I've used sunflower, I've used, maybe used olive oil. This oil is fairly interchangeable with other light oils. Safflower will absorb into your skin readily. Avocado, it will sit on the top of your skin. It doesn't absorb as quickly as the safflower, and so that's why I really like to use this one. But if I'm out, I will substitute it, and it doesn't make a huge difference in the end product. 14.2 as well. But I do like to lighten this up just a little bit with all this heaviness that we have going on. Kind of counteract that a little bit. All right, so this I'm just going to set aside. I'm done with my scale for now. So this is where the process starts. I am going to take my butters and I am gently, very, very gently going to warm these through and get these kind of melted through. I want to make sure they're completely melted, but I really need to do this gently so that I don't get the graininess. I don't want to shock the butters. So I'm going to get this on the stove top. You can do this in the microwave. You can do it on a double boiler. You can do it however you want. But with this big batch, I find I have to do it on the stove top. So sorry, I got butter on my glasses. I got my glasses all gunked up. So I'm going to take this upstairs, get it on the stove over a very low heat. And when this is melted, I'll come back and add it to the oils. Okay, it's melted through for the most part. I'm just going to stir this for just a moment to get those last little bits melted. And one of the things that you really want to work on when you're, and this is a whipped, I don't think I mentioned that. This is a whipped body butter. So I want to whip in some air and give it a nice fluffy texture. One of the things that you are having to kind of concern yourself with when making anything like this is that graininess. Shea is notorious for being grainy. Mango can be, I think. I don't have the problem with mango like I do with Shea. I've even had my tallow go grainy on me, and I made that for 3 years without even a little bit of grain, and the last 2 batches I made turned grainy. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But this is now completely melted. Those last little bits, they're completely melted, and I'm going to pour it into here. It's pretty full, and that's making me a little nervous. Maybe I shouldn't have doubled my batch. I didn't double it, but I shouldn't have increased it maybe. Pretty full, because again, there's probably 4 inches, but I'm trying to whip air into this. So this is going to be a pretty full batch. I'm hoping this works out okay. Oh my gosh. I'm just sharing my experiences, right? This is what I would be doing, and I would maybe be regretting it, but I'm just bringing it along for the ride. If you're looking for a soap maker that never makes mistakes and always has their act together, this probably isn't the channel for you. I'm sorry to say. But if you're looking for real world, that's me. This is me. Probably going to regret this, but let's just go with it. So at this point, I really want to cool this down kind of in stages. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and maybe 10 to 15, 20 minutes. Now this first time, because this is so warm, it's at 115. So this first go, I usually let it go a little bit longer than the rest of the time, but refrigerate it until it starts starts to solidify just a little bit, I'm going to bring it back down here and I'm going to whip it. And then I'm going to put it back in the refrigerator, and I'm going to do that however many times I feel like I need to get this where I want it. Okay, I ended up putting this in the freezer. It was taking so long. And even in the freezer, this big old batch of body butter, it's probably been 25 minutes or so. So what I'm going to do now is take it to the back and get it blending pretty low, and I'll show you what it looks like when this first blending is done. You can kind of see that it's just starting to solidify on the edges. I don't want that to go too far because, actually I'm going to go ahead and try to take that off the edges a little bit. I want it to cool down all throughout, kind of at the same rate. So obviously the edges are going to be cooling down a lot quicker than the middle. And that's one of the reasons you just keep having to mix it, cool it, mix it, cool it. Not only does that help the graininess and the texture, but it also will just make sure that it's cooling down and you don't have like, I think I left it in too long one time and I had about an inch of super hard mixture on the edges, and I didn't think I was ever going to get it mixed in. So I probably only let this go 35 to 40 seconds, not very long. It's still a little too fluid. You can see how it came all the way up to the sides of the bowl, so it was almost ready to kind of go over, but it didn't, luckily. So I'm just going to scrape all of this back down in here, but you can also see that it's a little bit more uniform in consistency. So I will probably go ahead and put this back in the freezer, but at this point it's probably only going to be about 10 to 15 minutes before we're ready to blend again. About 12 minutes in the freezer, and it is now at the point where it is semi-solid all the way through. A little liquidy on the ends, pretty cold on the edges. I want to not make this work too hard, so I'm going to get all of the batter or body butter off the edges as best I can. Now that it's a little bit thicker too, I think I'm going to be able to whip it for a little bit longer because it's not going to want to be splattering out of the bowl. So let me go back there and whip it real quick. So I whipped it probably on level 2 or 3 for another only 20 or 30 seconds again. So now I'm going to try to get all of this off of here, and it's getting closer to being able to split. So I'm not going to take this all the way, the end fluffy product stage. I'm going to split it off first and really get some air going in there. There's just not enough room in this bowl for all of the amount that I have in here to take this all the way. What I do want to do though is add my vitamin E oil. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this back on the mixer, mix the vitamin E in, and then I may put it in the refrigerator, not the freezer. The freezer's done. I may go ahead and put it in the refrigerator for just one more 10 minutes or so, just to kind of finish solidifying. And then when we come back, we will split it off. Okay, so it has been another 10 minutes in the fridge. I set it on the counter, got busy, so it was sitting on the counter after that for about 20 minutes. But look how it's nice and all together. I don't have really the hard spots on the edges anymore. If I was still only making about half this size, I would probably go ahead and whip it all the way up at this point. But because it's a little too much for what I want to do, I'm going to take off about half of this. So what I'm going to do is, I still have my pot here from when I melted my oils. I'm just going to take 32 ounces off of this. So there's 32 taken off. And you know, really, at this point, I could probably put this, and I've never done it before, but I'm pretty sure I could. I could put this in a container, just kind of like a sanitized container, and store it in this state, and then I could measure off a certain amount for a certain scent and just whip it as I needed it. Again, at this point, I'm just making sure all of the body butter here is off the bottom of the bowl. There's no spots that isn't going to get whipped. All right. And I'm going to switch over to my whisk, and I am going to get this going. So I'm going to see how much air can I get into this. It's looking pretty good. I had it whipped maybe for about a minute. So not, but it's going to lose volume pretty quickly. So again, yeah, I'm going to go ahead 10 more minutes in the refrigerator, and then I'm going to whip it again, and then we'll start splitting it off probably. It's been another 10 minutes in the fridge, and I went ahead and took off 16 ounces and set that aside so I can concentrate on my first scent. My first scent I'm making is, I call it pink quartz. It's rose quartz from Brambleberry. Really, really like this. Rose, I used to call it rose quartz, but that name was throwing people off, and they didn't want to even consider it. I make a hand cream in this that's really popular, and I've made soap a couple times that's kind of popular. I mean, it's one of those medium sellers. You know, it doesn't sell, it's not my best seller, but it will sell. One of those things. So I put 2% fragrance oil in my body butters usually. So this is 9 grams to 16 ounces of base. And I'm going to get this whipped up on the back counter with my whip attachment, with the whisk attachment. Okay. I'm thinking it's still a little loose. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator for another 10 minutes before I whip it one last time. I really want it to hold its shape, and it, like I said, it's still just a little bit loose. And so, yeah, I am going to run it back upstairs. I'm getting my exercise in, that's for sure. Getting my exercise in. So I went ahead and whipped it up. 10 more minutes in the fridge. I think it's perfectly luscious. So I'm going to go ahead and jar it up. Now, I do put my body butters in amber jars, and I do that on purpose. I used to use clear jars, and what would happen if the sunlight hit it, it would start looking a little mottled. It was almost like it was really heat sensitive, and it would start looking like it was bad, if that makes sense. It looked old and not very pleasant. By putting in the amber jars, the heat's not getting through to it, or the sunlight, or whatever was causing that just mottled look to it. So I have started using this, and I've also stopped coloring them. I can't remember if I've already said that or not. But I don't color them anymore. I just let this beautiful pale yellow color shine. And I can get right at 3 ounces in these little jars. Let me pound that just a little bit. And I don't want to pound it too much. I don't want to lose any of the air that I've just whipped in here, because that's what's giving it its beautiful fluffy texture. So I want to keep that as best I can. All right. I have 5 jars. I have a couple little sample cups over here. I may transfer those into a actual sample jar to give out. And I have to clean all of this and go on to my next scent and do it 3 more times. Whew. Oh my gosh, you guys. That took all day. I have made more trips upstairs to that refrigerator. Oh, all right. I did make 4. I made, I can't even remember which one I taped earlier making. I made the lavender. Maybe it was this one. I don't remember. Oh no, it was pink quartz. So I made pink quartz, and I made a lavender one with essential oil. I made another essential oil one with my sunset blend. It's not mine. I got it off EOCalc. But sunset, I made a liquid soap in this today. I thought, well, it would be nice. Maybe it'd be a good like combo gift type of thing. So yeah, I have the liquid soap, and now I have the body butter in sunset. And it is grapefruit, orange, ylang ylang, Litsea, and geranium essential oils in that one. So it smells really fresh and bright. It's, at first I wasn't sure about it, but the more I smell it, the more I like it. And then lastly, I made English Pear, and this is a Micah's and More fragrance that I have, just a tiny little sample bottle. I never know really what to do with those, so sometimes I just throw them in things like this. It's kind of a one-off. I really like English Pear. Yeah, so I'm done. Let me show you. I have my little cup here from earlier, and you can kind of see, hopefully, the consistency. Now it's still going to set up just a little bit, but it is super whippy. It's super fluffy. It's lovely. And it will absorb so nicely. So it's not going to be something you want to put on your hands and you know, go do work. But it's not really greasy. You know, it's not greasy. It's a butter, so you know, you got to take that. You got to take the fact that it's not greasy with a, you know, a grain of salt maybe, or within reason, because it is. I mean, my hands. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the oil on my hands. That's why I love it so much for an aftershave on my legs, on my feet at night. If I'm just sitting on the couch, I'll put this on my hands and just rub away, you know. It's not so greasy that I couldn't, you know, just, you know, do stuff. I just love this body butter, guys. I hope you love it as much as I do. Hopefully, you know, if you make it, let me know. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate your time. I wanted to have a little shout out to thank you to all my subscribers, new and old. I just hit 300 subscribers just now. So this is March 26th. I think it's March 26th. But thank you so much. That makes me feel so good. It just means the world to me. So I appreciate you all. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.